others as well have gone through the public schools. I'm a newly married person, and I have a daughter who is 2 years of age, and we expect to send her through the public schools.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, I am a proud parent of 5 children. 3 went to private schools, 2 went to Kamehameha schools, and 1 went to Pacific Institute. But I also had a daughter that graduated from Waianae High School, and presently I have a son that's a senior attending Waianae High School and graduating this June.
Okay. Ms. Alejado.
Yes, I have 5 children. One of them is working full-time, and the other 4 I am homeschooling. I took them out of the school system.
And finally, Mr. Kahikina.
I'm a product of the public schools. I got educated at Nani Kapono and graduated from Waianae High School. My oldest daughter graduated from Waianae High School, and I got 3 younger daughters. The 2 of them going to private schools right now.
Okay. Another question that I put to the other 6. Can you name one specific, I'll start with you, Mr. Alejado, one specific problem or deficiency in the public school system that you would like to address or will address if elected?
If elected, I'd really like to address the illiteracy problem. And I believe that a good, strong phonics program, like some of the other candidates spoke about earlier, in the lower elementary grades, you know, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade, would give our students and our children in our public schools the learning tool necessary for the rest of their life. And I believe that would be the first problem I'd like to address as a board member.
Okay. Mr. Cam.
My problem is basically twofold. I think that we have provided very little resources for our teachers and educators to work with. We've given them a lot of responsibilities, but we have not given them a steady, adequate source of funds to work with. We've also not given them the opportunity to participate in the management of the schools.
Okay, Mr. Kahikina.
I would, my first approach would be a people-sensitive approach towards education. People makes up culture, and as you know, in Hawaii, we're a state of many cultures. As the Reverend Jackson stated on his Rainbow Coalition, I believe we are the Rainbow Children. And I'd like to take a more sensitive approach towards education, which in turn will reflect on literacy and computation and etc.
Finally, Mr. Brown.
Yes, my concern would be sort of threefold. In other words, first, I will work toward getting qualified personnel. In other words, they are the heart of education. They know. They're out there. Hopefully, they should be given that autonomy, which I think Superintendent Toguchi has made it known that the teachers are the ones that should be the developers of curriculum because they know the business. And in order to bring about the product, that the quality product that is children that we have here in Hawaii. Secondly, I'd like to see an upgrading and maintaining of school facilities, which will make it definitely conducive to learning. And lastly, I would like to see emphasis put on the curriculum. In other words, a broader curriculum so that it will take care of the needs of all children in Hawaii schools or public schools. These are the 3 things that I'm really concerned about.
Okay. Viewer question. We all know that there is a discipline problem in schools. Most schools have some sort of a discipline problem. Mr. Brown, I'll start with you. What would you do specifically to correct this problem?
Hopefully we can get the team together. In other words, yes, the team. The team of parents, teachers, administrators, the unions, the collective bargaining unions that are affecting education right now, and bring them together, as well as the legislators, and come out with some very good solutions, positive solutions, in order to eliminate the problem of discipline, whether it be drugs or whether it be other kinds of things that go on in school related to discipline.
Mr. Kahikina, what would you do in this area about discipline?
I also believe that we need to start looking at learning bridges. And what I mean by learning bridges, I guess I'm saying almost the same as Mr. Brown is saying, is to get more of our community to be working together towards this towards the problem that we all share. Education is not only the Board of Education responsibility or administration or teachers, but it's also all segments of community.
Mr. Kam?
I think we need to start in the home. That parents need to stress to their children that education is extremely important. And I think this needs to be reinforced by all members of the community. And when we can impress upon our children that education is important, and by disrupting classes, they're wasting their opportunity at their future, I think we can lick the discipline problem.
And finally, Ms. Alejado.
I think that the root problem of discipline can be corrected with the good character education program that the current board has begun implementing into the schools. And rather than having it as a separate course, I believe that character education can be implemented in their reading, in their writing, in their literature. And by implementing this, we will get to the root of the discipline problem. When students start feeling good about themselves, when they start relating to their teachers, when they respect authority and they respect other people's property and other people's feelings, I believe that this would alleviate the problem of discipline.
Okay, thank you. If you would like to put a question or a comment to these candidates or those that will follow, this would be a good time to call. I see only one person is on the telephone right now, so please give us a call. And I might mention that these 4 candidates and the 6 that were here a moment ago, and then the 3 that will follow these 4, all of them are running island-wide. In other words, all of you on Oahu who are registered to vote can vote. You can vote for one in each of the 3 districts. The only requirement, the residency requirement, is not on you, it's on the candidate. The candidates have to live in the district in which they run. But you get the vote, so every one of you out there registered on this island can vote for one of these 4 people. You could vote for one of the 6 you saw before. So, anyway. Collective bargaining. Let's start with you, Ms. Alejado. A viewer would like to know, what is your opinion about collective bargaining for teachers? Is the teacher union too powerful, or is it necessary to represent teachers?
I believe that the teachers union can have a place in helping the teachers get their salaries and their benefits. I don't know right now how powerful they are.
Okay. Mr. Kam.
I think that it's important that the teachers have a major role to play in our educational system. And so I feel that the collective bargaining process is extremely important and that we should continue it. I don't think that the union is too powerful. I think that the union and the DOE are working together to improve our educational system.
Okay. And Mr. Kahikina.
Collective bargaining is, I guess, afforded to all sectors of the community. The problem that I see here is that we're dealing with people, and collective bargaining, when we bargain with commodities, I mean, it just, for me, I just cannot comprehend that aspect. I say yes, the teachers need to have the opportunity to collectively bargain as far as wages and resources, but when it comes down to it, the bottom line is that we need to still look at the needs of our children.
Okay. On this side, Mr. Brown.
Thank you. I think it's necessary that teachers belong to whatever union, okay? Because it gives them an opportunity to enhance the educational system here in Hawaii, because they have the experts. The union have the National Education Association behind them and supporting them, and they do bring in a lot of good ideas from the nation's standpoint that we can use here in Hawaii. So it's more an enhancement. I don't like to use the word powerful, because really that's not the job of the union. The union is there to help teachers seek or provide the best quality education for, again, the children of Hawaii.
Okay. Mr. Kahikina, let me start with you. What kind of a job, viewer would like to know, what kind of a job do you think Charles Taguchi has done since taking office as superintendent of schools?
Well, he's doing the best job that he can. I just feel that Our superintendent needs to have a check and balance system. It's not a matter of I guess, critiquing character. It's a matter of critiquing our children and their education, and if we're making any headways in their learning abilities.
Ms. Alejado.
I think Mr. Taguchi is doing a fine job, and I would like to see the board give him more guidance and direction in how to carry out his job in the public school system.
Okay. Mr. Brown?
I believe that Superintendent Taguchi is doing an outstanding job. After reading some of the information as to what he plans to foresee in the future. In other words, his concern about passing autonomy back to the school level. Character education, which was brought up earlier, to eliminate some of the problems that we have in the schools. And again, in-service training for teachers to give themselves self-esteem or the self-worth, knowing that they're out there and they're the best qualified people to do the job if given the opportunity. They are the experts. Working with the legislators, too, is very important. So again, as far as I'm concerned, Superintendent Taguchi is doing an outstanding job.
Mr. Cam?
I agree that Superintendent Taguchi is doing an outstanding job. He inherited a very difficult position when Superintendent Hatanaka got kicked out. And I think that he has done very well in bringing the people together and putting our educational program back on track.
Do you think, again, I probably will get unanimity here since you're all running for office, but Mr. Cam, do you think that the Board of Education members should be elected or appointed? And I ask that, please bear this in mind, that for the most part, voters really don't know very much about the candidates when they vote. So basically, we're getting a Board of Education on name recognition only.
I think that it's very important that we continue to have an elected Board of Education because it gives the people the opportunity to vote, to have a voice in what is going on. I think it's important for the candidates as well as for the voters to make an attempt to meet each other and so that everyone will know who's running.
Mr. Brown?
Yes, I am for an elected school board because it gives, again, back to what I said earlier. Our educational system is made up of people, and they know their business, so they should be given an opportunity to elect the best qualified person.
Ms. Alejado?
I think the board should be elected. I think the people should hold the school board accountable to the public school system. And I believe by having an elected board, that can be done.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Kahikina.
I believe in the democratic process, and I'm for an elected board members.
Okay, time for another break. You four are going to leave, and another three will come back. When we come back, we'll meet the three candidates in the Windward Oahu district.
On the American Experience.
The bed was flying around the room like a kite.
We grabbed each other and said, "This is the end of the world."
The front of that building just collapsed. It was just opened up and down it went.
Jack London walked through the streets and wrote, "I knew it was all doomed."
That night, we went up on top of the hill, my mother and I, and the whole city was burning. All south of Mark and all along the waterfront was going. And she said to me, "Well, Will, you'll now be a pioneer of New San Francisco."
It was the most photographed event of its time, and those images tell the story of the great San Francisco earthquake, the season premiere of The American Experience.
See the series premiere of The American Experience, Tuesday at 9.
Vietnam, the war we lost. Afghanistan, the war the Soviets lost. Japan, an economic force giving us both a run for our money. Are the superpowers still so super?
I think we're closer now than we've ever been to finding a balance.
Join host Bernard Kalb for our continuing look at the U.S. and the USSR, Global Rivals.
See it Tuesday at 10.
And finally tonight, the three candidates in the Windward Oahu District. And remember, voters, wherever you live, you can vote for one of these three people on November 8th, Election Day. And the three candidates are Debbie Hartman, Lila Assurance, and Paul Knapp. Now, let me put a question to each of you in turn that I put to the other 8, 7, whatever, 10. Viewers would like to know your qualifications for running for office, a little bit of your background, starting with you, Ms. Hartman.
I served in the Hawaii State PTA. I presently serve as a vice president on the state board, but before my appointment to the Board of Education, I was the legislative chair, and I was responsible for the legislative actions here and in Washington, D.C., and I did that for 5 years. I also served for 2 years as the chair of the Windward School Advisory Council, which is an advisory group to the Board of Education, and I bring that kind of background, which is why I believe the governor appointed me when the position became available.
Okay, Ms. Assurance.